Hey Tom, here's your squirrel jump. Not bad. The structure is mostly there. He jumps, he anticipates, he lands. The tail's moving around. My apologies if I already gave you notes on this, but it wasn't on the assignment as I'm grading things, so I'm just gonna do a new video anyway. Um, okay, so first what I would do is get some sort of ground plane going because it's hard to tell when there's no ground what's going on. And the default grid is like this tiny thing over here. So you can go under display grid. I usually just add a 0 to the default numbers and it should make it bigger. Cool. It helps a bunch knowing where the ground is. And even in this case, you can kind of see it's not super clear that his front tummy's going through the ground. So I'm also gonna create polygon plane and then scale that thing up. Just extra help ensuring that I know where the ground is on the object. I think this is the correct height because it doesn't ever disappear. I think just the butt shape gets kind of strange. Okay, so what I like to do normally is just turn the tail off, 0 for off, and then get a nice looking jump. Are we consistent? No, we're a little inconsistent with our keys because you can see there's like only a key on 26, but if I select the head, there's more keys. So I'm just going to grab the whole rig. I'm going to go through the whole thing and go period S just to save all the controls. That way I don't break your animation on accident because that's never a fun thing. Never cool. I think we probably ultimately want to be settled out by maybe 40 or 45 or something. So I'm going to go to 40, grab all these, 0 rotation and translation. Oh, undo. Ignore this guy. Grab all these, 0 rotation and translation. That gets me back to a nice squirrel home position. I think it was just like a little bit. Oh, just the butt was in a weird place. And that's probably where it was going through the ground earlier. So probably the butt should be on the ground about here. So right about there, I think I want my butt to be on the ground. So frame 20. And then grab this middle mouse drag, press S, and then grab this guy, same thing. I want that to be stopped on frame 20. So it hits the ground and then it's flat. I think I might have rotated this, so I'm gonna just set this back because this is the frame. Okay, that's the ground impact. So this should be the first squish pose. And then you've got a squish pose way over here, I see. So if you check your reference, the squish pose is much faster. It might be 2 frames, but I'm just going to put it on frame 20 instead. So you have a squish pose, and then the recover. So 25 or 24. Let's do 24. Let's use this one. And then I can delete this stuff. All right, so that's your first squish pose. What's going on with this? Let's just throw that out. Something in there somewhere. Sometimes things get kind of weird shaped, so I'm just gonna reset stuff. So this should be the stretch right before the land. So it should be something like this. And delete that one because I like this pose. So there's your jump, stretch, bounce, land. I think I'm gonna be okay with that for now. Okay, so that's the first squish pose. I usually do 2 most of the time. You look at the reference, it kind of goes forward. It does this like squish and forward thing where it goes bam, forward. I think 23 is 22. Swish forward and then up and then back and then down. Oh, that's your home position. That's our end goal. I just want to do that. So I think this was down and then so up, down, forward, delay, 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 up. Trying to make sure that this pose is above the landing pose. Alright, so that's more or less the main key poses on the settle. And what I'll usually do is overshoot a little and then kind of bring a tinier circle and then come back to settle. It just looks nicer. And then I'll turn on motion trails. Here we go. Got an okay sphere thing. I'm just gonna move this stuff out. If I'm going too fast or any of this doesn't make any sense, feel free to message me and we can jump on a call and I will slow it down and tell you what I'm doing in more detail. It's hard for me with just doing video captures, like to know where you get lost and where you don't. So anyway, so you kind of want to do your best to get this like spiral thing going on. That really helps a bunch. And then on the jump, you want to try and make it look more like the bouncing ball jump shape. So it kind of has this nice arc going on. And then you can always clean up the tummy a little bit as you're going. Something like that. Okay. Alright, there's a jump. There's the settle. I might make it a little faster or slower, but that's what I'm looking for. And then, once you get the jump in, then I'll turn the tail on and figure out the tail. So your tail's going to be kind of messed up. So I would say turn this back in with a cleaned up jump. And then clean up the jump, then do a new pass on the tail. And you want to make sure, like, right here, the tail is lagging behind. And then it still should be lagging behind on 20, and then it should catch up about 24 and then settle. And then you want to do the same thing we did on the head, is make sure you turn motion trails on before you turn this back in and try and clean this up, and then turn it back in for some more notes. The other good takeaway, in case you didn't see this, I show this a lot, so you may have seen this already, so apologies if I showed you this. If you go to the tutorial, that's not it. There's a tutorial page on the first assignment. Not on this one. Uh, can just skip ahead if this is something you've seen already. Squirrel jump, tutorial. This is just the trick that works well for me. Go to the last video in the tutorial and then I just skip ahead till I find the jump, so it's about 17 seconds. And then you can just frame step through here. I think you were probably doing this. I think you more or less had this, but just pay attention. I think the thing that you might have missed is the landing. So you can see how it's on the ground, and then like one frame later it's squished, and then one frame later it's pushed forward, and then the head kind of rotates forward. Watch those ears too. You see how the ears are stretched and then they flip forward. Do all that. I think that was just missing in your the version you turned in last. And then once you got the squirrel jump updated, then you'll want to do a pass on the tail again. There you go. All right, I'll see you later.